think Andrew Holness is a good Prime Minister?
Andrew Holness is a good Prime Minister. Well, we have to compare Andrew Holness with all of the Prime Minister before him. And my opinion, he's the worst. But all of them. And when you see me put Edward Siaga before Andrew Holness, you must go back to this. Because before, when you have to go Siaga was the worst.
Yeah.
But experiencing Andrew now, he's worse than Siaga.
Can you differentiate like Siaga government, like in Siaga time, what would you say? What would you say Siaga was like? What your experience of Siaga back in the days before we reach Andrew Holness?
Well, the corruption wasn't that bad. As bad as really Siaga certified. Every time Siaga certified. And let me tell you something. Siaga is not my favorite Prime Minister. But I think he loved Jamaica more than Andrew loved Jamaica. In my opinion. He loved Jamaica more than Andrew. Loved Jamaica.
But why you think Siaga love Jamaica more than Andrew?
Because the policy then when we used to, you never used to have, like for example, in my opinion, Siaga never send police on people. Siaga go through a lot of criticism. There's no Prime Minister in Jamaica will get the bad name and bad mouth like Edward Siaga. And you never see him respond like the way or Andrew respond. You could say anything about Siaga and you expect police to turn over your yard.
Well, let me ask you, would you say in those days time was really hard and tough and it was rough for like people who were trying to make it in life? Did Siaga try to put things in place to make like poor people better? What you think? Did he try to make poor people better or he make things harder in that time? What you think?
Well, the Jamaica Labour Party in particular is not for the poor. They are always for the rich, richer people. They believe in an economy trick down. You understand me? The rich is the one that responds for the economy and it comes down to the poor. Under Michael Manley, it was a different thing. Michael Manley was building for the poor. Come up to the rich. So there was two different things. But right now, Andrew Holness, at least you could say, Siaga was a Prime Minister where I work for the Jamaican people. I know who Andrew work for. I definitely not work for the Jamaican people.
So you totally against Andrew Holness?
He's not totally against Andrew Holness. He's the Prime Minister, he's the Prime Minister of the country.
Do you think that the jail party is funded by the CIA agents of America and what want to know, is they still funded by the CIA agent? What do you think? What your take on it? We want to know what's going on because there's some fact about it that the CIA agent funded the Labour Party for years. And what do you think? If you have the knowledge of that, what do you think?
Well, to be honest, I think the CIA started to fund the Labour Party in the 70s. Not before. I think they started about 73, 74. When they find the direction that the TNT government under Michael Mann was going. Right? Because it's a leftist government and it was more leaning to Cuba and the Soviet Union. And even South Africa in the time there. And Michael Mann was the man that was fighting against apartheid in those times. The first time we hear about Nelson Mandela as a young youth, never know him. I went to a PhD conference about 12 years old at the National Arena. And I remember the leader of the party was the prime minister at the time. He was in opposition. So it was like 82, 83. And that is when I hear, the first time I hear the mention of Nelson Mandela. And it was Michael Mann who was saying, he was calling on the world to come together to free Nelson Mandela and abolish apartheid. That's what it means. Back to your question now with the CIA. The CIA in Jamaica started in the 70s because, as I explained what Mandela was going on. At the moment, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think the CIA is playing a part in Jamaica. Remember, I know, it was a Cold War. And the Cold War is ending. Right now, America can jump all the world and do before you're going to do it.
Based off of what we heard, like, the Labour Party was funded by the CIA with all of the funds coming in the country by the CIA to back the Labour Party.
What's funny
A
about the CIA?
flourish, a gun that come in the country, you know what I'm saying? And the killing in those times by the Labour Party, I mean, because they have so much gun, because they have most of the gun back in that time, and there was loads of killing. And what do you think? What was your take on that?
Well, that can't be good for your country. We have people that fight against each other with the influence of people outside. That can't be good for the country. Right? And this was a strategy by the CIA to destabilize the Mandela government in the 70s.
By bringing violence.
By bringing violence. And squeeze the economy. That's the point. They said squeeze it. So what they start to do now is take away the importation of food, paying off these merchants that was in Jamaica, like the Chinese in the 70s. I remember in the 70s, if you want a phone, that's why you buy a buckle of eye. You remember that?
It was marred.
Yeah.
They call it marred.
If you want a buckle of eye, you can buy a sanitary pad. As a man, you don't wear
They call it marred. Back in this, they call it marred. You marred items.
Yeah. As a man, you don't use sanitary pad, but you have to buy one. Get up on the floor. That's how Jamaica was destabilized. Right? And the question you asked me, you say, alleged. It was alleged because the facts came up, because you have former CIA agents who came out and
Admitted. They was bringing weapons.
Yeah.
And funding the Labour Party.
And they, as far as said, they fired that evil time. They did it because they said the thing that caused the fire is only CIA have that thing, because they said the fire could go to start in 5 minutes and to end in 5 minutes. And there's no way the chemical that the government or nobody of Jamaica could have that. Only the CIA.
Could have that power.
Could do that.
Power to do
certain things. So it was alleged. And it was CIA agents who were on the record saying these things. So
let me fast forward. Why this thing is not publicly advertised to the public of Jamaica to say, well, this is what happened. The CIA is funding the Jamaican Labour Party to run a coup in Jamaica to take over and to take the country and put a puppet master there to run the country to their benefit. Why this thing is not public? Why this thing is being under the quiet and not to the public. Why are they doing that?
Because I think they take what you call it out of the education system. They take civics out of the education of the curriculum. Because that's why Andrew Holness could go back to the 70s and said it was a worse government. He skipped out the 80s with Edward Seaga, and he come back to the 90s with Michael Manley, and he said it was the worst government. And then he skipped out Goose Goldie and come to PJ Patterson and said it was the worst government Jamaica ever seen. Until he, the king, arrived.
Well, let me ask you. There's some evidence showing, alleged again, that Andrew Holness may be a CIA agent, that he was trained by the CIA agents to run a coup and take over Jamaica. What your take on that?
You don't think so? You don't think so? Because, what may I say? Jamaica now, these are even interested to the Americans. What we believe. You know why they interested to Jamaica was because of the stand that Michael Manley came in the 70s.
The question that was posed to you is that if you believe that Andrew Holness was trained by the CIA, I would say I believe he was trained by the CIA, because if Edward Seaga was a part of the CIA or a CIA agent and he was the one who trained Andrew, then I believe that Andrew Holness was trained by the CIA.
No, what I said, I don't think the CIA have an interest in Jamaica anymore. Because after 89 Mandela, the first regime is called America. If you remind, if you recall. But a new mandate, socialism gone. You remember? It was a new mandate like what do you call it now? A capitalist mandate. Because I think you have learned this lesson. Well, it was a good lesson, you know, because the lesson what they think what Manley was doing was for the people of Jamaica. But to please America, I know go through what he had been through before. He kind of changed course and start to be like a more capitalist, because 89 was a capitalist market Manley bringing in. There was nothing about socialism again. Democratic socialism dead from.
Let me ask another question. Do you think the PNP is now stronger now or than in the 90s?
No.
And what caused them to be, if you said no, what caused them to be so weak and incompetent?
When you say they're incompetent, there's a different way I call it now. These are younger set of people, right? And they don't know the past, because I think the PNP have lost track on that to remind the people about what Manley have done for the country, right? So what the younger people came to was a new young fresh prime minister with a class routine where every young man wear, right? Like nowadays, I will have a ladder. There's a ladder car, which the PNP used to bring in from the Soviet Union. But now this young fresh prime minister came in with a class and he speak like them, and then they know nothing about the 70s, the struggle that the country has been through, and the policies. Because, for example, Andrew's on his third term, and when Andrew leave office, what can Andrew say that he has implemented that in the 30 years we can talk about that entities. Well, like for example, we talk about housing trucks. That man is new. That man is 100-year-old now. Man will be 100 now. And that done for 40 years. And the NHT is one of the things that build houses for people that you talk about it. Right now, is it that is financing the budget? Because every year, this labor government and the Holness take 8 billion from the NHT. Right? Michael Manley was the one who bring in free education. We can talk about that. Michael Manley was the one who bring in
Free and clear.
And a lot of things. What can we say about Andrew legacy farmer that what have we done?
Corruption.
Right? Even Seattle can say art.
Yes.
And art academy. And you can't even give him that thing. Right? It was Manley who bring in the youth training center and Seattle come and turn it into art.
Let me say, next question is, do you think there's any chance of PNP winning the next election within the next 50 years? Because question is, Andrew is there as a young prime minister, youngest prime minister we ever had. He's doing very well. He's funded by the CIA. That's the question I asked. Right. Plus, he have his 2 sons in America training by the CIA. Come take over after him reach his destiny
In politics.
So, is there anything left for the PNP? Because I mean, if you have a young prime minister and you have his offspring in a training to take over after he leaves, what is there? What is there for the PNP?
Right, and one question, me answer your question. PNP is 4 terms straight like a DJ, and we were saying the same thing. We never right come back to war.
No, what is different?
No, it's not different.
PNP.
No.
Pakistan didn't have a son already to take over.
No. Which son?
Pakistan have a son ready to take over. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying.
The Holness have a son, 2 sons in training, ready to take over.
Yeah,
after him.
But what you want to
That's
say?
what I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. You know.
The Jamaican people are corrupt, but they're not food. They're corrupt. I'm being honest. The Jamaican people, right on my belief, are corrupt, just like a leader. But they're
So this is what I'm saying. Andrew Holness.
The only ones I'm doing son are going to fight.
Andrew Holness.
Only son are going to fight.
If they're protected by the CIA and they're funded by the CIA, they fund them, so he have a 90% chance of winning every election.
No, but what I'm saying is,
So when him reach the age of 70 and said he's gonna retire, his son is gonna be at the age of at least 30 to 40 is gonna take over from him, gonna put his point. And the CIA gonna put that son in place to run.
Listen, me answer me say, I immediately got this on CIA in Jamaica at the moment. Then the reason why the CIA was there is because of Manley. The CIA not interested in Jamaica. They're not in Jamaica.
They're still funding.
They're not in Jamaica right now for the CIA.
The CIA is funding the Labour Party.
Listen to me. The Labour Party is supported by the TSOJ, the private sector of Jamaica.
So in other words, what you are saying is that the CIA is not interested in Jamaica at the moment because Jamaica is going in the direction that they want. They are really, doing everything to suit the CIA at the moment.
Hi guys, I'm representing for Watson TV, the best TV in London. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and make sure you watch all the videos. Thank you, bye.
Big up Walkerton TV, the best TV in London. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.
Big up Walkerton TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Big up yourselves. Sean Hamilton out.